Yo, what's going on, peeps? Derek here, bringing you a random review. I got a film from Wild Eye releasing today, and it's a really fun one, I have to say. I really enjoyed this one. That's all I'm going to say so far. I'll let you know my main thoughts about it after I tell you about it. It's actually one of their earlier releases in Wild Eye's catalog, and it was released in 2013, and it goes by the title of Mold. Main plot of this one, we are introduced, it takes place in 1984 during the Reagan era. This group of scientists and military are developing like this special mold to fight against the drug cartels by this mold is made to actually eat the cocoa plants, dissolves them. But the one thing that the mold has a side effect on, it also eats away at human flesh. So they're trying to create like this anti-aging just in case the mold breaks out. But what happens in the film is actually they have this big meeting and they're showing it off to the government, to a congressman. The mold actually gets out and it spreads through the facility. So this small group of people are trapped in this building trying to get out before they get contaminated by the mold and try to survive. That's pretty much the plot of the film. And my thoughts on it. I'm going to read a quote on the back of this. "The stuff meets street trash, mold excels with honors." With the quote like that, when I was going into it, I was like, because mold, The Stuff and Street Trash are two 80s films that I love, and they really represent the 80s well for me. This film is very influenced by those type of films like The Stuff and Street Trash. It has the same like elements of some of those films with like the government and stuff, and this, like the moldy, like the green slime stuff and special effects and ooze and all that good stuff that were in those films that I loved about them. And this film's no exception. It has a very like deep like government meaning to it, especially like they show like, since it takes place in the 80s, it shows like Reagan on the TV, and there is a politician in the film, and he's actually pretty funny because he's like, one scene he's doing coke in the bathroom and he's like, "I love Republicans," and all this crazy like and pro-Republican stuff while he's doing drugs in the bathroom. It's pretty fucking funny. And there's the Colonel in this is fucking awesome in the film. He's played by Edward X. Young, and he's just awesome in the film. He does like some of the he's like the character that does all like the one-liners like you see in like a bunch of 80s films, and he does like some recognizable one-liners like he does one from actually Back to the Future, which is pretty funny because I wasn't expecting it. But he has a bunch of awesome one-liners in this. He's a pretty awesome character. He's always smoking a cigar and stuff. Yeah, but the effects is really what makes this movie awesome. Like the mold itself, it's pretty awesome when it grows and how they did it. They used like a lot of old school special effects for this film. And like the effects on like the people that get contaminated are pretty badass too, I have to say. And yeah, I had a blast with this. It has like, if you hear in the background, that's actually some of the score playing. I have the menu playing if you can see it. And it has like it's wicked 80s, like synth heavy, like it kind of has like a horror sci-fi feel to the soundtrack, which is pretty dope because you can hear the synth and it's really awesome. Reminds me of like like the 80s soundtracks from like The Stuff and Street Trash, and even like Invaders from Mars from the 80s that had like the same type of score too, which was awesome. And I just like how it's like in this contained setting. It's not really a big film. You know what I mean? Like it's all in this one like facility until the end of the film, but it gets to the point and you follow these small amount of characters. I like films like that because it doesn't like go over the hill and drastic because it is a low budget film and they use the effects to the abilities in these small sit-ins, so it's not really too bad, and the actors do almost decent job. I don't think there's really a bad actor in this film. There's some scenes where they're struggling a little bit, but for the most part, they're spot on with their performances because they're playing characters that represent the 80s. Like there's one character in particular, it's awesome. You'll see it in the film. He actually has like a fake mustache on, and you know it's fake and everything, but you see like a lot of like 80s and late 70s movies that have the same thing in them, and I like that little touch to the film. It brings like charm and heart, and they really put in, you can tell this film was made by people that loved films from the 80s. So if I had to rate Mold for a first time watch, I'm giving it a solid 7.5. It's a fun ride. If you love films from the 80s, especially like The Stuff and Street Trash, you'll really dig this one. It has awesome special effects, and it's just a blast. I highly enjoyed this film. 7.5 out of 10 from Mold. Check it out, from Wild Eye Release It. Awesome stuff. Alright guys, that's it for the random review. I'll be back soon with another one. I'm gonna do a few of them next week. I'm actually gonna watch another one from Wild Eye, and that'll probably be my next one, and then I'll be doing a few other ones, so I'll be switching them off. So, I'll see you then. Peace out.